Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring DoW2, the elite mod. Red-Rupee here tonight, calling the shots for you as always as we head into Meridian High City, the battleground for our 3-on-3 match tonight. Let's take a look at our players. On the blue side, we've got Freeman as the Lord General leading the Imperial Guard forces with his faithful retinue, alongside SerTopi, the Farseer, with a dazzling array of buffs and support spells for the Eldar. And then the last of the blues, SuperHooper, bringing the potential of fast transit across the map with the Ravener Alpha and his tunneling capabilities. On the red side, we have Mr. MadeinEngland as the Tech Marine, a man with a gun for any occasion, and then his twin Tech Marine HansMoleman on the other side, and in between the two, the legend himself, Caeltos, the founder and lead designer of this very elite mod, bringing the Chaos Sorcerer onto the game. Now, we've got a lot of power armor for the Reds on the field, a lot of light infantry for the Blues. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Lord General's probably going to be trying to stall out the early game. He's one of my favorite kind of hold-the-line commanders. Early game, he can reinforce himself. He can get some med kits with his early upgrade if he gets that medical officer. And then the Sentinel itself, of course, can get repaired nice and quickly. Unfortunately, Lord General finding himself under a lot of fire. Needs to get on the right side of that green cover, but has to get out of there quickly. That Tech Marine bringing a lot of fire to bear, can focus down very easily. A lot of people tend to kind of discount his early DPS, considering they're normally dealing with an Apothecary or Force Commander. You really have to get in there to start causing some trouble. Guardsman getting very low, though. Sentinel Stomp is up, but has very little support. Probably going to have to get out before too much longer. Moving in for a Stomp. Gets the Tech Marine. Doesn't manage to quite knock the tax out of the match. Might be able to force the Tech Marine off. But anyways, in the middle of the map, we've got the Farseer causing all kinds of trouble already. Forced off some Heretics, I think. We got Twin Dire Avengers, though, focusing down the Chaos Sorcerer, and now just a single squad of Chaos Space Marines left. We've already got a Las turret up in the center. That's where Freeman's other guardsmen were in the beginning of that first engagement, I suppose, but it looks like it's not going to pay off as they lost both sides of that engagement. Nice flank from the Tech Marine there, finally forcing off the Eldar, but now we have SuperHooper moving in here on this side of the map, finding these tactical Marines a bit stranded without reinforcement. I'd actually kind of expect that Ravener to get in there and maybe force melee on these tactical Marines. They're already a single member down, but surprisingly, those Termagants taking lots of fire, losing models left and right to all of this range focus. Pretty standard build so far from both sides. We got double tactical Marines and devs coming in for both of our Tech Marines. We got some Raptors coming in for Caeltos for some jump squads and disruption. For Mr. Freeman, we do have a heavy weapons squad and a Guardian weapons team on the field alongside a Warrior Brute for SuperHooper. So we're going to have a lot of setup teams. We're probably going to be seeing some stalemates in the center. This map plays very similarly to Calderas Refinery, I feel. It's kind of the same setup. You've got the natural VP in front of either side, and then a contested power node between both auxiliary members of the team there on the far sides. We've got the Raptors already moving in. Oh, and it looks like they've got the coruscating flame on them as well. I think that's what that was. Let's check on the Sorcerer. Yes, he does have the Sword of Flame, so they were able to jump right into the middle there, do some crazy heavy damage with that AoE fire ability that the Chaos Sorcerer did cast on them. Scouts trying to get a flank on the heavy weapons squad. He recognized the threat. The grenade was coming in, doesn't quite land, but he knew those scouts were getting back there for a reason. He pulled out just in the nick of time. If he had stuck around there a little bit longer, that may well have been a Gibbs squad between the Doom Bolts and that scout grenade. Blue team does control both of the contested power nodes at the moment. Or sorry, no, they only control the one. That looks like they're about to get the second and lose the opposing one as well. I think the best plan for this is try to hold your side with the VP and try to hold your power farm early. And then from there, you can bring the third member into the middle and kind of just support this side of the map if you're the Blues. You got two VPs and one of the contested powers over here. And then you can kind of mix and match your engagements and harass over there, depending on how supportive your teammates and how organized, of course, you can be. Got the Barbed Strangler on the Warrior Brood here. Probably going to be pretty great, keeping everything suppressed, really negating all the potential range damage on the field Rangers out here to sort of deal with this siege worship, keeping everything under cover of darkness for Mr. Caeltos. SerTopi, not quite sure where he wants to engage. It looks like he's going to support his Tyranid ally for the moment. Already taken out another tactical marine. Where is that Devastator? That Devastator needs to get up here and bring some support. The problem right now is that there's not too much that he can do to deal with this 2-on-1 at the moment. Caeltos moving in for some support now that they've locked down the far power node. Raptors jumping into the middle of everything once again. Unfortunately, it looks like his Space Marine ally isn't quite there to help him out. I'm not sure where he is. He's kind of hanging out down here. Now jumping on the Guardian Weapons team. However, in the middle, those Raptors finally get forced off after losing a medal. Chaos Sorcerer now bashing away at those Rangers, forces them off pretty easily, and gets a nice special attack on those Dire Avengers. We've got melee moving in. We've got a Tech Marine turret cutting off the reinforcements as well. Those Guardians in a lot of trouble. They drop a grenade, almost take themselves out, and it looks like they might go down. Yes, the Sorcerer teleports in to get the final hit on them. Might cost the Sorcerer, but he's going to get out of there as well. Freeman well into Tier 3, playing very frugally in this initial Tier 1 engagement. All he really got was the Lord General, the Sarge upgrade, giving him that med kit. Got himself a bunker down very quickly here. Going to be able to deal with all of these suppression squads on the field. That turret's still going to be a problem for the time being, but with Freeman being Tier 2, he can probably get something out pretty quickly to deal with that threat. 476 to 425 at about 6 minutes in so far. Not too much in the ways of VP drain yet. The middle VP is sitting neutral. Everything's kind of been running all over the place right now. And all is quiet in this sort of intermediary moments between the next engagement. We've got a lot on the field. SerTopi keeping it very light himself. He lost one of those Guardian squads, lost his Shuriken as well, and down to just a couple squads while everybody's heading on into Tier 2. We've got an autocannon out here on the field. A grenade goes down, connects pretty well, but doesn't quite finish the job. A nice medkit bringing them back up to full health, and the full brunt of the Tyranid forces moving in just as the Reds were about to capture that center VP. Ranger fire coming in, everything walking right into range of that turret. I'm not sure if SuperHooper didn't realize that was there yet or not, but now Caeltos going stealth here while he continues to defend this central point. This is really going to become a huge central battleground as we head into the middle of this game, just like how we tend to see in Calderas Refinery. Oh man, that's heavy weapon squad getting a bit too close. Now has the Rangers moving in, another medkit keeping them healthy. Once more, those Raptors jumped into the middle of everything, but I'm not sure that was a good plan for them. Caeltos a little overzealous there, drops the Doom Ball, but does next to nothing. I'm not sure if that was thanks to the Hive Node here or what. It looks like everything's getting forced off from the Reds. The Blues holding extremely well, thanks to the bunker and the Hive Node setting up in the center here. Even so, there's tons of suppression coming in from everywhere. There's Devastators on the either flank along with that turret in the middle. More Doom Bolts going off as Plasma gets upgraded on those Guardsmen. And the action just hasn't stopped, and we're pretty early in the game. Tech's getting very low. They need to get out of there. Let's see if they manage to escape. Oh no, the Hormiguns let them escape with 7 HP. They could have stuck it in there, lost a couple models to get that squad kill. Oh, slight miscalculation there from SuperHooper, allowing those tactical marines to get away. Let's see what's going on up top. Red team has full power farms all over the place, and has controlled both of the contested powers so far, so we can see that's coming out in the form of a Dreadnought already for MadeinEngland. A Wraith Lord is out for SerTopi, although he did lose yet another Guardsman squad, sitting right now with just the Rangers and just the Wraith Lord. That Wraith Lord is going to be crucial probably for taking out this Tarantula turret. Although I'm surprised the Sentinel hasn't moved in and started pinging away with the anti-vehicle missiles on that turret with the Guardsmen in support. Wraith Lord already getting the Shuriken Cannon upgrade. Actually a pretty sweet looking Wraith Guard with that color scheme. I like that kind of pale turquoise on him. Pretty sweet. Oh, nice use of the Ranger Shroud right here, allowing that Wraith Lord to get almost into point-blank range to take out that turret. Sorcerer now moving in with the support of the Space Marine Army. Scouts dropped what they thought was going to be a sweet retreat grenade, but the Guardsmen didn't fall for it. They moved out of there. Sorcerer moving back. Meanwhile, this turret getting perilously low. It looks like the Reds are finally going to lose it as we head into the Tier 2 portion of this match. Of course, I say that, but HansMoleman screaming ahead of everybody on into Tier 3. The Reds have a huge power advantage, I think, at the moment. Yeah, making almost double the power right now of the blue team. Blue team's been doing a great job of holding thus far, but we'll see if this continues to be the trend as we head on into the mid-game here. Corrosive Devourer already on the Ravener, allowing him to do full damage to just about everything. This Dreadnought's got the Assault Cannon already upgraded and pretty beat up to boot. Probably recognizing that it was going to need to keep at a distance if it wanted to keep itself alive much longer. Got Melta-Guns on the Lord General over here. Instead of capturing the power, they're just going to go ahead and take it out. It looks like their plan really is to kind of hang out in the center for the time being. Lord General acting his fight harder ability, allowing all the weapons to fire faster and reload quicker, I believe. This secondary contested gen farm is going to be going down. And meanwhile, in the middle, it looks like we've got 4 armies getting ready to clash here. We've got the Tyranids, Eldar, Space Marine, and Chaos all moving in. Oh, we've got the Noise Marines already upgraded with the Blaster Master Dubstep Cannon. Gonna be dropping some Skrillex shots right into that bunker. Oh, takes out a big chunk of health. Oh, beautiful Dark Flames coming down here right in the middle of all that infantry, with the Dreadnought steadily firing away. That Dreadnought, I think, could move in a little closer at this point and drop a devastating Assault Cannon barrage. However, despite the support of those Raptors, the Hormagaunts teared off a lot of HP. Oh, but they're gonna go down. No, they don't with 9 HP. Oh, wait, there we go. Dreadnought finishes the job that the Eldar could not. And suddenly the Tech Marine's out here on his own against two and a half armies, really. SerTopi doesn't really have too much else at the moment. This Dreadnought needs to pull back. We've got Stern Guards out here. We've got Assault Squad kind of just hanging out. Really needs to interfere with some of that anti-vehicle if they can. But there is a lot for them to deal with on their own. 379 to 473. The red team actually losing in VPs at the moment. They got the 2-1 cap, trying to bring it back into their favor. But they've kind of just been attacking, I guess, 1 or 2 at a time against the full brunt of the blue army. I think they've not quite managed to get a coordinated assault. Meanwhile, we've got some flamer attacks up top that were doing a good job power harassing, since the blues were all bunched up in the center, leaving themselves wide open. That's some pretty good play there from MadeinEngland. Or actually, I believe that's HansMoleman over there. I get confused with which Tech Marine is which. They're on opposing sides. You would think the top person on the map would be MadeinEngland, but it's actually inverted, making it a little confusing for the casters as always. We haven't really seen much in the way of a Ravener tunnel play. I'd kind of expect to see a full network of tunnels along the back here, allowing the teammates to really get to either side of the map quickly wherever they needed to go. We've got yet another battle coming down here in the center. SerTopi now with a pair of Wraith Lords. That heavy weapon squad blasting away at just about everything, doing lots of damage if they can't prevent it. The bunker is down, so it no longer has that safety, although it really probably doesn't want to be in that bunker if the Blastmaster is going to be firing away at them. Uh-oh, and it looks like we've got a Manticore on the field for Freeman, dropping some big hits, knocking heretics all over the place. That'll put a stop to that worship. Now that they can see everything, it looks like Tyranid's gonna move on in there. Still lots of heavy weapons support here, though. We've already got the Raptors upgraded with their Melta-Guns to try to deal with these pair of Wraith Lords. Devastator either prepared for the flank or turned the wrong direction. 2 Wraith Lords gonna be very difficult to deal with, even with all the anti-vehicle they do have on the field. Yeah, as soon as they see those moving in, the Noise Marines have to get out of there. Caeltos realizes there's not too much they can do about that at the moment. The red team is all in Tier 3. They just need to get something Tier 3 on the map to really push that advantage home. They've got a huge tech advantage right now, and I think they need to try to do their best to take advantage of that. Oh, and just as I say that, here comes the Venerable Dreadnought. Man, we don't see this thing often enough. I love the Venerable Dreadnought. It could drop an Emperor's Fist right now, probably take out 1 or 2 of those warrior models and got a nice Synapse backlash, but saving that energy for a better time. Understandable. Right now we've got Devastators moving in on the center. We've got some support fire as well from Mr. HansMoleman's Whirlwind. Las Cannon can't quite get set up without taking fire from those Rangers.
So the generator is online.
Whirlwind doing a little bit of support fire, knocking them all over the place. Blues managed to take back at least one of these contested power nodes and trying to catch up SuperHooper heading into Tier 3. And right now we've got both the Venerable Dreadnought and the Assault Cannon Dreadnought out here. Everything's moving in though. We've got Eldar, we've got IG, we've got Tyranids. MadeinEngland just calling for help. There's not too much he can do against this force. He really just needs to get out of there, cut his losses, and allow the rest of his team to take the rest of the map. When you've got all three armies on you, your best shot is just to kind of fall back. Ooh, beautiful shot from the Blastmaster right there. However, the Manticore shot's coming down, forcing off the majority of the Blues forces, unless they wanted to incur some heavy casualties during that engagement. Caeltos now out here alongside of HansMoleman, who's way out here on the flank, trying to get some decaps, but can't quite do it, even with the stealth scouts there. Our Rangers in the center of the map. Some good supporting fire from the Whirlwind, but they're not really managing to do too much to take advantage of those armies while they're down. Wraithlord getting slowed by that las cannon, but still that Venerable Dreadnought not quite brazen enough to move in on it. Probably a good choice to hold that back. These two Dreadnoughts can really deal some damage if they can just get the initiative on one of these engagements. Once again, we've got the Flamer attacks up on the far side by HansMoleman. You would think that the Ravener would be the one trying to get those sneaky gen bashes in, not the slow Tech Marine army, but HansMoleman's been doing a good job of splitting his forces. Unfortunately, I think he's not quite been too much in support of some of these pushes. I think if the red team gets everything together and flies in here, they'll really be able to do something good. We've got Terminators on the field with their assault cannon already. Although between all this plasma fire, the Bright Lance, and everything else, man, ridiculous. Oh, we have a heavy turret way in the back there for the blue team as well. 278 to 431. Blue team really holding the line well, really fighting together, really proving the effectiveness of great teamwork. Beautiful Doom Bolts going off right there. It looks like the Dreadnoughts are moving in. Everything needs to move in if they're going to support this. Oh no, it looks like they're a little dubious about the support they're getting here, and they decide to pull back. I think the rest of the team committed. That was a potentially good push, I think, but they kind of freaked themselves out and pulled back out of it. I think right there, if they had managed to activate, maybe neither of the Tech Marines have enough red for a blessing here, but they could have activated their global vehicle repair, which, oh, they did do, but the Dreadnoughts are just hanging in the back. Got to get those in there. Got to drop some Assault Cannon, Barrage, Emperor's Fist, something to force off all of these support weapons from the blue team. Dreadnought taking lots of fire, needs to back off, but it takes a direct shot from the heavy turret, along with the supporting fire from that autocannon, eliminated the Assault Cannon Dreadnought. We've got a Skydrop coming in, and it's a Leman Russ tank from the skies. That's going to be enough to scare off the imposing Space Marine force that was trying to take out that heavy turret. Blastmaster is going to start taking some pot shots at the tank. Along with that las cannon, that Leman Russ needs to back up. And the Reds finally have control of the center VP. Now, finally getting the Blues underneath 400. But there's still a good deals back. They need to do something about that Blastmaster. Get it out of there. Send in one of these oh my gosh, triple Wraith Lords now. I'm not sure if he's just got those on Overwatch, but he probably wants to head into Tier 3 as soon as he can. You really can't discount the potential effectiveness of Tier 3 units and those big nukes. Late in 3-on-3 games, las cannon goes down there to a Manticore strike. Noise Marines do manage to get out, but they did take out the heavy turret, which is something. I don't think it's quite worth that las cannon team, but there's another one sitting back here in reserve. I believe that one was MadeinEngland. He's bringing a Predator out to counter that Leman Russ tank, but we've got Carnifex out here, we've got Predators, we've got the Great Unclean One already for Caeltos. Lots and lots of vehicles. The triple Wraith Lords out here too. Of course, you can see Freeman made himself a repair bunker up here so these Wraith Lords can just kind of hang in the back, get fixed up, while the rest of the army pushes forward or holds the line. Rippers harassing the anti-vehicle squads of MadeinEngland. Everything getting suppressed and taking crazy fire. We've got the range synapse going on here, so this Tyranid blob is going to be a lot to deal with for them. We have, the synapse are from the Ravner as well, so some serious DPS coming in from the Tyranid army. We've got just kind of exactly what the blue team needs to deal with this. Oh my gosh, that Predator went down almost instantly. That was a very short-lived Predator. You almost don't want to go anywhere near this army with that Predator until you get its reinforced armor plating up. Lord General goes down in the center of the map, but man, look at the focus fire taking out this Great Unclean One. Great Unclean One getting focused down by 2 Bright Lances and 2 Wraith Lords, getting down to about half health in no time. Nice looking Doom Bolts going down on those Termagants, getting them all very low. Raptors jumping in, trying to find a good way to engage this Carnifex. Terminators coming in just a second too late to finish off either of those Termagant squads. Carnifex in a lot of trouble. It might be going down. Tyranna formation getting activated as well. Spire's going to be shooting up all over the place as continued jump squad interruption going down all over the place. Carnifex getting very low. Looks like the Venerable Dreadnought's going to get out of there. The chase continues. I'm not sure this Great Unclean One wants to move in much further at this point, though. There is a lot back here. Nice job almost obliterating that Guardsman Infantry squad there with that nasty vomit ability on the Great Unclean One. But even so, wow, a tank and 3 Dreadnoughts, or Walkers rather, not Dreadnoughts, Wraith Lords. Despite having very little infantry support at this time, still holding strong against the Great Unclean One. That thing was getting very low. It couldn't be threatened to push any further. And now we've got, man, look at them just rip through that Stern Guard veteran squad without much issue at all. 330 rather to 272. Whirlwind knocking stuff around continuously, but this is a huge vehicle force on the field right now for the blue team between the Carnifex, the 3 Wraith Lords, and the Lehman Russ tank, man. This is going to be extremely difficult to break. However, the Reds are still managing to hold the points. The problem with all these vehicles is that without any infantry support, they can't really push too far in on their own unless they want to lose the vehicles themselves. And without that infantry, of course, they can't cap either. So the VPs have just about got evened up here. The Blues almost neck and neck with the Reds now as they've held the central VP for quite some time. Venerable Dreadnought getting fixed up here, and we've got the Land Raider Redeemer for HansMoleman soon to be moving on to the center field. And once that comes out here, this will serve as a forward base, an easy retreat point with 2 squads of Terminators and all these kind of big, heavy Tier 3 Space Marine units coming onto the field. It's going to be tricky for the Blues to deal with, but honestly, they're pretty well equipped for it. These Guardian Weapons teams have such great range, and they'll be able to do some good damage to the Terminators. And even so, with that new ability they have in the Elite mod, they can even do some pretty reasonable damage, or at least support, against any of this heavy red infantry. Lehman Russ moving in, already upgraded with its elite tank crew, making short work of these tactical Marines. It does get an orb down on top of the Lehman Russ. I'm not sure if that'll be enough, though. It is turning its back, though. Need to make sure. A lot of people tend to habitually click away once their vehicle gets disabled, but you don't want to do that. You want to keep it facing forward so it's not taking those rear armor hits. It looks like the Guardsmen are going to be able to keep it repaired without much issue. Caeltos managing to hold the center against all of these walkers. Sentinels still on the field. Lehman Russ not scared at all. Managing to still push off the Tech Marine and his Tactical Marines. Uh-oh, it looks like this Venerable Dreadnought might finally be in trouble. Rockets coming in, Bright Lance fire. 3 Wraith Lords chasing it down, and that's going to be it. They all pull back, knowing their job is done. Freeman is really trying his damnedest to capture this natural point over here in front of HansMoleman, but some reciprocal pushing coming in from the red team. The Land Raider finally moving in with the support of these Chaos Raptors, but there's between the autocannon and this Plasma Guardsman, it's going to be very difficult for them to do too much. Wow, already down to a single model. This heavy weapon squad up to level 3, but they are not set up correctly to defend themselves from the push of HansMoleman. 230 to 259, a 2-0 cap in favor of the Reds. And this has just been a non-stop cannonade in the center. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I love to see this in 3-on-3 now. Predator now upgraded with its twin-link las cannon there. Gonna be a definite threat to these walkers now if it can get anywhere close, but for the time being it can't. These walkers supported by the Guardian weapon team Bright Lances here. Gonna make it very difficult for anything to approach this center victory point. Everything goes quiet once again for a brief few moments as we take a look around the map. Another Carnifex coming out here for SuperHooper. SerTopi's finally in Tier 3. Gonna want to drop an Eldritch Storm right on top of that Land Raider when he gets the opportunity. We can see some more Manticore shots coming down, but you see that's one of the beauties of the Land Raider. The Manticore can force squads to retreat very easily, but since the Land Raider's on the field, the Reds can really come back out here pretty easily. Some nice shots going in on the infantry blob of the blue team from that whirlwind. Raptors get a melt off, but I don't think they have anything to really reinforce that. Another orb going down, and it's going to stun everything. Oh, if there's a nuke, now's the time to use it. I don't think any of them have the red to do it, but man, that would have been beautiful to just drop some orbital beams right on top of all those vehicles. And wow, I don't even know what's going on here, man. Nids are moving in. We've got another heavy turret down. Layman Russ is holding ground with the help of all of those infantry squads. 201 to 259. Terminators do get the cap on the center map with that Chaos Sorcerer. Ravener Alpha doing everything he can to cause trouble here. My God. This is some beautiful stuff right here. Manticore might be able to take down, yep, bullseye right on top of that whirlwind. Finally don't have to worry about that disruptive whirlwind support fire. D-cannons now coming out onto the field as well. This heavy infantry is going to have a hell of a time getting anywhere near the center of the map now. Another orb going down, but unfortunately they've just not managed to have any sort of anti-vehicle follow-up to all of these disabled vehicles. Now that the red team can really camp the center of the map, the blues are having a hard time taking that VP back, but at the same time, like, they're just hanging out here. They're not doing too bad themselves. Ah, beautiful shot there from that Barb Strangler Warrior Brute. Ooh, and a Bioplasma coming down from the Venom Cannon as well, almost taking out a squad or two right there. Between the Teleporter Relay and that Land Raider, they have two distinct retreat paths right now. One of these Wraith Lords might finally be in a bit of peril, but it looks like it can probably get out of there. In the middle, we've got Layman Russ tanks moving up, taking out that central turret once again, trying to secure this middle VP. 152 to 259 right now, and the blues are looking like they might be in dire straits if they can't do something about the victory point situation pretty quickly. Look at those Bright Lances doing, like, they don't burst very well, but that constant damage against the Terminators really works out in the long run. Both of them do have to retreat. Unfortunately, if he could have just gotten one of these Wraith Lords in here to support, that would have been pretty great to keep those Bright Lances off the field. Unfortunately, now that the Bright Lances are gone, we can see HansMoleman knows he can just move right in on these Wraith Lords. SerTopi really needs to get these out of here. One of them's definitely going down. The second one in a bit of peril, but it looks like it's far enough back that it's not going to matter too much. Layman Russ is moving in on the center. Some more Manticore strikes dropping down. Everything's so injured for the Reds, but they're doing everything they can to stay out here. Some nice noise marine shots going off. Fire constantly getting exchanged here. Looks like the Ravener's trying to get up his ally. Might be able to pull it off. Farseer does get up. Will she retreat in time? Hopefully SerTopi's paying attention. Layman Russ tanks really doing some work. These things are so beefy. They can really take some serious abuse. and dish out the punishment themselves. One's level 3, the other's level 2. We've got a pair of Carnifexes out here as well. The super units for the red team starting to look pretty beat up. The Land Raiders at about half health, as is the Great Unclean One. Made in England with only a few squads himself at the moment. Manticore once again forcing off those setup teams, but the relay will keep them on the field. And we have the Blues hanging out once again. We've got one Layman Russ with the Executioner, the other I think with the, oh man, I forget what the long cannon is. It's not Demolisher. It starts with an A, I think. I can't think of what it is. But the anti-vehicle cannon. One splashy anti-infantry, one anti-vehicle. Man, and they're just building it up here in the center. We've got yet another bunker, another turret, a pair of Carnifexes, a pair of Wraith Lords, and a pair of Layman Russ tanks. Looks like we've got Caeltos moving in. Although I think he's kind of ambivalent about the push here. Didn't quite have the support. And I think that's kind of been the name of this game, is that the red team hasn't had quite near the teamwork that the blue team has had. Even if all the teamwork that the blue team has really is just kind of camp and center with all of these units, but that team play really comes in huge in these late stages of the game. Carnifex is getting blasted by dual las cannons right now, but they're going to manage to get out of there with the help of that Manticore. Big shots coming in from the Executioner cannon on that Layman Russ. Looks like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on, man. We got a Singularity coming down, a couple Singularities coming down, a nice Bioplasma shot knocking them back. Beautiful setup right here. Here comes another Singularity. Doesn't quite manage to hit either of those injured squads. Only pulls in the relatively fresh Stern Guards. But down goes the Assault Space Marines. That was a beautiful set of plays right there. And again, some cross-team communication right there. He set up the Singularity, and then there was a nice knockback from the Bioplasma. Those D-cannons just blasting away at everything at such huge range. This game has never stopped. The VPs are neck and neck. Space Marines doing everything they can, but taking huge requisition bleed at this point between all of the plasma, all of the artillery. These tanks just obliterating everything. Late game, that Executioner cannon, those oh my gosh, look up. Oh, this is brutal. Oh man, if someone's got the nuke, this is the spot for it right here. Just drop it right on there. Where's the Imperial Abyss? Only MadeinEngland has the resources for a nuke at the moment, but man, if that wasn't a tasty target just a moment ago, I don't know what is. There's tons of setup teams out here on the map, but I feel like for the Reds it just hasn't quite been working out. They haven't been able to keep them safe at this point. Very little in the way of actual troops on the field. MadeinEngland getting himself a Predator, but again, I feel like against what's out here, I don't even know what's going to be solid against what's out here. They really, all I know is that a Predator isn't it. A Predator's not even going to be able to get anywhere near the center of this map. The only thing that might get you out of this situation could be a well-placed orbital bombardment at this point, man. This is really brutal. 125 to 146, and everything's coming to a head here. The red team doesn't have much time to break the central position. This is going to be very difficult indeed. There's really no solid direction they can approach this from. Here it goes, finally, the orbital bombardment moving in. The Reds need to take advantage of this situation. Nice use of the Melta Chaos Raptors taken out. The Manticore, they might even get this Guardsman Infantry Squad, no problem, obliterated there by the Chaos Terminator autocannon. Now everything's moving in, Reds pushing back these tanks. The Tyranid army still holding strong though, almost managing to take out that Great Unclean One, but I think, unfortunately, that's just not gonna be enough for the Reds. Oh, where's that Eldritch Storm? That's the spot for it right there. SerTopi not quite ready for it. The Tyranid formation is coming out though, takes out one Terminator, doesn't quite finish it off. Land Raider down to 30 HP. A final shot from the Lemon Rust takes it down. All the infantry from the Space Marines sitting out there exposed now against these tanks. Imperial Abyss coming down as well. Nukes dropping off everywhere. Obliterates a setup team very quickly. An orbital bombardment going down, but doesn't quite hit the mark to take out that last guardsman squad. And all hell is breaking loose here in the center. Oh, there goes the tactical Marine squad. Obliterated by a D-cannon shot. 70 VPs for the red team. But I think despite all of that going down, there's still vehicles on the field for the blue. There's still a pair of D-cannons supporting the center of the map, and they did not break in the face of everything. We've got another bunker coming down here in the center, probably going to get upgraded to the repair bunker. He called the first one was the middle, and then a rallying support cry from SuperHooper. He has been extremely positive. I don't know, maybe that's what the Blues had. They had SuperHooper leading the way, being the positive reinforcement they needed to continue the fight.
Upgrade order received. Proceeding.
And I think with these last 40 VPs taken away for the Reds, I'm not sure how they're going to be able to get into this fight. MadeinEngland is literally off the map. He has nothing left. Even his hero is down. The Tyranids probing around trying to see if maybe they can take out this relay beacon. Oh no, down goes the rocket run. Let's see if it takes anything out. It does manage to get a squad. Oh, 2 squads, I think, right there. Oh man. That'll show you to huddle around the relay beacon when it's tier 3. Those nukes come down and you start hitting that retreat button and you realize you're just retreating right back into it. Oh, it's brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Caeltos, the only one with any sort of sizable army left at this point, and he's going all in to try to do something about this. Dropping maybe another Venerable... Oh no, it's not a Venerable Dreadnought. All it is a squad of tactical Marines. That's not going to do anything. Time field going down. We've got Carnifexes moving in. Everything's just focusing down the Terminators. Great Unclean One's doing everything he can to force off those guardsmen. They do get the decap on the central point. The Reds stalling this out for just a bit longer. It's costing them everything they have, though. Triple havocs on the field for Caeltos right now. Great Unclean One might manage to take out one of these Layman Rust tanks, but no! It escapes, and everything is now turning to focus down this big, mean, nasty Great Unclean One. GG gets dropped from both sides as the Great Unclean One goes down. Oh, man. Oh, D-cannons. D-cannons are so good, man. That was insane. Oh, no, you don't drop a nuke on the lead developer of the game you're playing. You don't base nuke him. Oh, that had to have been Farsight, too. That was intentional, you jerk. SerTopi, you sneaky, sneaky Eldar. Oh, wow. Look at that. Those Wraith Lords stayed up the whole game and triple D-cannons. That is not friendly at all. Man, oh man, that artillery. The blue team did not flinch towards the second half of the game there, man. Once they got those tanks up, once they got those bunkers and turrets up, that was just all she wrote. They may have gotten pushed off the VP once or twice towards the end. Actually, the red team managed to push it down pretty far, but those last couple engagements was it. Ah, I love it. I love it. That's what 3-on-3s are about. They may not be the most technical, but man, they're fun to watch. Anyways, I know you enjoyed that one. I'm not even going to say that I hope you did, because I know you did. Send me your replays, comment on the video, follow me on all your favorite social media. What a match that was. This is Red-Rupee. I'll be catching you guys next time.